Good morning, everyone. My name is Christoph. I'm country manager of Easy8. I believe we're now ready to start. Hopefully, the latecomers could also join. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be joining from. And if you're watching this on the recording, then hello from the past. So, like I said, my name is Christoph. I'll act as a host for today's webinar. And we're expected to last around 45 minutes, including the Q&A at the end. And the title of today's webinar is Jira Server's End of Life. What are your options? So throughout the webinar, we will aim to provide the perfect information to Jira system administrators, users, and IT departments so that you are able to best prepare for the changes affecting the Atlassian product catalog. So a couple of public service announcements in the beginning. So let's go through the technical manual together. So any participation should be done through the Q&A button. So if there's any questions throughout the meeting, you can just use that button. Otherwise, you will be muted for the duration of the webinar. Yeah, so just use the Q&A button either on the top of the window or on the bottom of the window, depending on where the Zoom layout is located on your screen. And either me or my colleagues or Peter, my co-host, will try to answer any questions that will come up during the event. In case we were a bit too fast for you, or in case you missed any points, not to worry. You will receive a webinar recording after the event goes live, so you'll have an access to watch the recording, and you can review it a few more times if needed. Moreover, if you have any feedback or opinion on the Atlassian server changes, then we are always happy to hear them, either by the Q&A or you can contact me directly. I will share my contact details at the end of the webinar, but we're very happy to hear any feedback. All right, let's proceed with the agenda. So here's the rough rundown. So we will begin with the introduction to the speakers, and then we will move on to describing the circumstances regarding Jira's new server policy. We will then compare options so that you and your company can make an educated decision later on. We will go through a summary, and we will share the case study. As promised, we will provide a price comparison sheet as a bonus at the end as well. And then finally, we will go through the Q&A button, or you can use the Q&A button to ask questions, but we will go through the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So who are we? So right now I'm joined by Peter Vavra, one of our esteemed colleagues from the implementation team. Hi, Peter. Can you hear me? How are you doing today?
Hello, I can hear you well. Yeah.
Perfect. So Peter has been with Easy8 for almost 10 years now, and he's an expert on integration analysis and complex implementation processes. He also handles a couple of my customers as well. So if you end up with Peter as your account manager, you will be very happy and you will be pleased. And once again, my name is Christoph Fedorian. So I am country manager of Easy8 once more. And generally speaking, I primarily do business development and account managerial responsibilities. I'm also heading up our branch office in New York. So generally speaking, North American clients can see me and interact with me for the most part. So let's go through the Jira new server policy. And let's talk about the primary reason why we are here. So as alluded in the beginning of the webinar and throughout our marketing materials, Atlassian is ending the server support for Jira and its other products by 2024. So the current expected deadline is the 15th of February. And this decision will affect all Jira Server users in one way or another. So essentially 3 options remain. You can already see the first one. So you can stay on unsupported server without any updates and security improvements, with a very real possibility of depreciation over time. You can migrate data, or you can migrate to the cloud, to the Jira cloud, or you also have the option to migrate to the data center. More on this later. Let's continue with the official timeline. So as you can see, by 2024, Jira will end all server support, and the first milestone of this timeline is the 2nd of February, or was the 2nd of February 2021, So as of this date, Atlassian is no longer selling new server licenses, and Atlassian has also stopped developing new features for the server product. From the 15th of February 2022, you can no longer upgrade or downgrade tiers for server products for apps anymore. A year later, on the 15th of February 2023, Atlassian has discontinued the sale of new apps for your existing Jira server licenses, as well as has also discontinued the conversions from free apps to full licenses. App renewals will also be discontinued with an end date of the 15th of February 2024 to match the official end for the server support. And then this will happen in less than a year from now. So my colleague Peter will talk about your options now.
All right, thank you. And so basically you have 4 options, like where to continue. And first of those is to stay on the server as you are right now, or you can migrate to the cloud, or transfer or migrate to the data center, or switch to another vendor and another solution. If we will stay on the server, of course there are some pros and cons. And so if we will start from these kind of advantages, so of course you will still stay here like the one who is configuring the application by your own. So you have a full control of your instance. So you have a chance to control the resources, the features which are uploaded on your server, the plugins from the Atlassian market. So it's fully up to you. And then of course you have a kind of, let's say, data restriction fully controlled. So there is no issue with any security glitches. On the other hand, let's say if you will stay on the server as we talked, like then you have no chance to upgrade your system anymore. And then in case of these bugs or any security incidents, there won't be any patches which you can apply on your server anymore. And then in case of any assistance which you will need from the Atlassian team, of course, there is no chance anymore. So this is something which we would definitely not recommend, like to stay there. But of course, it's up to your decision. If we will move on to another option, there is of course a chance to migrate to the cloud. So as an advantage, of course, there is a lower cost. And then you no need to carry on about your application, so we will have probably the less cost related to the maintenance. So it means that the upgrades of the systems is automatically applied. So with a new version, and the releases are automatically applied on your instance. And then if you have employees who are a bit portable, so then of course the mobile application is available, and then you can control your tasks and projects, let's say even from outside of your premises. As a disadvantage, if you will migrate to the cloud, it could take a bit longer time, because there is a different infrastructure between the on-premise solution versus the cloud, so it needs to be adjusted a bit, and this migration could take even around 9 months. So it's quite a long time. And then, of course, then you will lose your configuration flexibility. So it means that you are on the public cloud, and then you are a bit sharing your instance with a different instances, and it means that you are a bit dependent. And of course, as a consequence, is a bit limited package of the features, because as on your on-premise solution, you have the chance just to download the plugin and then install it, and then you get let's say the dedicated feature. But now on the cloud, there is a chance to download the new plugin, but there are a couple of limits there. And then, of course, as a main argument, the most probably is a kind of difficulty of the data control. So in your on-premise solution, you are under the firewall, but let's say in a public cloud, it's a bit challenging. If we will move on to something which is a bit more secure, So that could be an alternative in form of the data center, because of course, like there is a kind of dedicated cloud for you and dedicated server where you have very similar competencies, similar options like as on your own server. It means that you can self-manage your resources. Then you have an option to scale your kind of capacity for your application. And then, of course, as a main benefit, there is a chance to avoid the downtime, because you can imagine that once you have been releasing the new version of the Jira, for example, so then you need to stop the production and then upgrade it to the newest version. But due to the, let's say, a better load balancing on the, let's say, data center services, you have a chance to, without any downtime, upgrade to the newest version. So that's, like, I would say, one of the key benefits. And then, of course, next to this flexibility of these upgrades and deployments of your selected features, so then the time for the migration is quite shorter, because if you will decide to go for the non-cluster solution, it means that basically your infrastructure is a bit one-to-one same to the ones you had on your on-premise solution. So it could take even the hours as an official announcement. Of course, in the reality, it will be quite longer, but let's say between 1 to 3 weeks, that could be the practice. So that's like advantages. But as a const, on the other hand, there is a bit cost limit. It means, like as you know, like Attlassain is managing the cost per tiers, and then the users within the tiers, and then the smallest package for the data center is around 500 users. So it means that if you have like a 501 user within your organization, then it means you are, let's say, in a different tier, and you need to pay for let's say 1,000 tier of the user. So it's quite cost heavy. And then you need to pay for the full price every year. So then, let's say, next to this kind of flexibility you had, of course, then on the other hand, you need to pay such a specific fee. And then we have, let's say, a bit last option, and then it means to choose another vendor. So as a pros, of course, you can select someone who has a, let's say, pure migration experience. And of course, let's say right now, due to the situation of the Attlassain, there is plenty of the vendors who are providing that service, and we are one of those. And then, of course, if you will select someone like who has let's say, the support, the great support for the not just only during the migration but afterwards, so then you will have you will get the very same services as you have been getting from the Attlassain so far. And then, of course, like if, for example, you will select the Easy Redmine, so there could be a kind of comparable features inside the package of the plugins which are dedicated for the solution. And then as one of another advantage is that there is no vendor lock. It means, like, if you will, for example, select such a tool from the open source community, so then you no need to be stick to the, let's say, one big vendor, and then there is no such big issue to be migrated, let's say, somewhere else. And on the other hand, like const could be like the same argument as for the migration, for example, to the cloud. Like it could take a couple of months, because you need to, of course, kind of clean up the data which are within your current Jira and Confluent instances. So you need to make a cleanup, you need to accumulate the data, and then afterwards you can clearly migrate it to the new solution. And then another consequence is, of course, like features cleanup and the selection. So then you need to decide like which is really mandatory for you, and then select the similar feature, let's say within the new tool. So that could be also quite challenging. So please be ready for that, and you will definitely needs to challenge this approach. And then of course, like it will be like a big change for your users, so they will need to kind of be adjusted to the new tool and new functions and new behavior. So of course, this can be quite challenging. But we have in here like a summary approach, so we can probably take a look to it, like key takeaways, most likely from the timeline perspective, like all of these four solutions. So if you will decide to no move, so it means like a stay on your server. So as said, like we highly unrecommend that solution, because of course you will lose the support in the future, and then you will be stick to the current version without any other options. So that's highly unrecommended. And another option, as a summary, of course, is to switch to the data center. You still, from the timeline perspective, you still have a time, as we have said, like if you will decide like to go for the non-cluster solution, so it's really the matters of the, let's say, hours or days. And but of course, let's be ready to pay more and every year. And then if you migrate to the cloud, into the Jira cloud, so of course, like let's start soon, because it's long way and the time is running fast. So as we said, like it could be even like 9 months plus minus. And so let's if you're gonna decide to go for this option, so let's start sooner than later. And then the last one is, of course, like migrate to another on-premise and another solution, another vendor. And our recommendation is to really choose someone like with kind of experience and then reliable for your solution. And then yeah, so let's be ready for it, and let's start to be thinking on it already right now.
Thank you, Peter. For the latecomers, I'll repeat myself again. In case you have any questions, just click the Q&A button, either on the top or on the bottom of the screen, and you can ask questions. Either my colleagues from marketing or Peter and I will answer throughout or at the end of the webinar for sure. Right, let's proceed. So let me put my sales manager hat on for a minute or two and offer Easy Redmine as a viable alternative to Jira's on-premise solution. So we are Easy Software, and we are providers of Easy Redmine. And a couple of benefits here. So we have been developing it for the last 15 years, and we are an open source company. We have been developing it for close to 16 years now, 15, 16 years. And we also have hundreds of experts, or at least 100 experts on the site, and we are ready to we are prepared to provide a full onboarding experience. We also have more than 300,000 users worldwide. Like I said, I'm heading up the North American market, but we have professionals in South America. We also have professionals in Asia and vendors, so we can support a wide range of users and applications. Here are a couple of our trusted partners. So we also offer full stack of Attlassain products. So for Jira, we offer Easy Redmine Essentials. For Confluence, we offer the Knowledge Base 2.0. With this, we aim to offer a real alternative to Confluence. For Bitbucket, we offer Easy Redmine's GitLab integration plugin. And for the service desk, we offer Easy Redmine's help desk solution. So Easy Redmine in a nutshell, like we said, we provide a full stack to the open premise solution of Jira. Like we said, we are open source, so you can easily switch between cloud and server, and there's no danger of being logged into just one vendor, given that we are open source and we provide export functionalities as well. We also have a verified migration process. Petter may be able to tell you more about that, or you can also contact us and we'll be happy to offer. But we have a standardized Jira migration tool, and we also have a vast experience in data migration. So rest assured, in case you choose EasyRedMine, your data migration process will be in good hands. And lastly, we also have a support and customer success team. So Petter is a member of this team. We provide basic support, we provide custom scope support, and we provide a custom scope implementation and onboarding process as well, or service as well. So if you are interested, and if the following areas matter to you, such as data security, a lower total cost, or the open source flexibility, then we believe we can help with EasyRedMine. Now, let's proceed and move on to a case study where we can look at how we have provided a migration process to one of our existing partners. So among our many clients that have migrated from Jira to EasyRedMine, I would like to highlight Star Vision. So they are a service provider on the Elrond blockchain, which is a blockchain that aims to develop decentralized applications and also supports cryptocurrencies. It also aims to revamp the current internet infrastructure. They're based in Switzerland, and they are, like you said, and established, they are software service developers or software service providers and software developers, and they primarily deal in agile methodology. Current or the previous stack was replaced. Oh, excuse me. So that previous stack, the Jira Software Server and the Bitbucket has been replaced with EasyRedMine alternatives. Let's proceed. So lastly, as the bonus for participants, we've prepared a detailed price comparison PDF. So this compares Jira Software, Server, Cloud, and Data Center versus EasyRedMine. So in case you're interested, my colleagues from marketing will be more than happy to send it to you. So you can just share out your contact details in the Q&A button, and we'll be able to send you the PDF after the event goes offline. So here's an overview of the less detailed version of the price sheet. This should give you a rough breakdown and rough comparison on how Jira solutions, the current remaining Jira software solutions, fare against EasyRedMine in the price comparison. And of course, if you're interested in total cost of ownership, if you're interested in reviewing and market research for EasyRedMine, then you're always welcome to contact me at christoph.adorian@easysoftware.com. You can also contact us at sales@easysoftware.com, and I'll be happy to forward your inquiry to appropriate colleagues of mine that are based on regional coverage. All right, I think we are ready to proceed to questions and answers. Here, I'll wait. We will wait a couple of seconds. Let's see if there's any open questions. So I'm not sure if I believe the participants can also see, but Adriana has asked a very valid question. So, and Peters has answered this. So Adrian is asking if, what about automatic migration of Confluence contact? Will that be carried over? And Petter answered that. Or Petter, do you want to answer it on live as well, perhaps?
Sure, of course. Yeah, so next to the Confluence, we have an alternative in form of the partner who has a solution called BlueSpice, and it's fully integrated with EasyRedMine. It means like the very similar features, as you know, between the Jira versus Confluence still persist, like the linkage between the task and the content itself will still be there. And of course, the options how to be kind of editing the content, it will be still there. And then, of course, the migration process is there in place. So this BlueSpice team, they are, let's say, super experienced with the migration of the Confluence content. So they have a, I would call it like a semi-automated procedure. So it's not just only on the one click, but of course you need to a bit clean up the data before the migration, and then afterwards it's a bit automated for the migration to from the Confluence to this knowledge base.
Thanks, Petter, and thank you, Andriana, for the question. So once again, while we're waiting for new questions coming in case you wish to go through and review the price comparison, please put your direct contact details into the Q&A section, and my colleagues from marketing will be happy to answer. Additionally, if you missed in the beginning, the webinar is recorded, so it will go live a few days after the event. So the event itself, so in case you missed anything, we'll be most definitely happy to answer, or you can review, and additionally you can also contact us and we'll be happy to answer in case you missed anything. So there's a few questions that came in. Let's see. Petter, you're already typing an answer. I don't know if you want to answer it on live, but
yes.
HK is asking, yeah, let me read out the question. So HK is asking, are customization possible in Redmine as much as it is available in Jira? Very good question. Petter, do you want to take it?
Sure. As we have mentioned, like due to the Easy Redmine is based on the, let's say, open source, so you will have a chance as a kind of owner of the license to even modify by yourself the specific features. So that's one of the elements. So if you have a team of the developers, you can even define the features by yourself, or of course you can select from our defined packages, like what features you like as alternative next to the, for example, Jira add-ons, Jira plugins. So we really have like one-to-one or almost one-to-one similar features. So I'm pretty sure that you will select the ones you will like. So
thank you, Petter. Here's a question from Sonal. Could you please elaborate on security aspects? I can take it, Peter, but you can also add anything that I missed. But generally speaking, since it's on your premises, data security is going to be your responsibility. As an added benefit, obviously, you can implement any kind of security measure because it is on your servers, it is on your premises. So it's totally up to you. Otherwise, we can also provide penetration tests in case it's needed. Obviously, we test Easy Redmine thoroughly and somewhat regularly. So, and obviously with the updates that we are constantly rolling out, we do provide a high level of security, and we respond to different types of modern and current security measures seriously and efficiently. Petter, anything you would like to add to that, maybe?
And then, in addition, like, of course, we are trying to fulfill all of these, let's say, security standards, not just only the mandatory GDPR with, let's say, two-factor authentication, SSO, and then, of course, like all of these needed and mandatory attributes. But of course, we are aiming the ISO norms. So so from the security perspective, like if you are even on your own server, so it's fully secured.
Perfect. Thank you, Sonal, for the question. Thanks, Petter. So Michael's asking about the so would you also support the plugin version or scroll document? It's called. To be honest, I've not heard of this plugin. Petter, does it ring a bell to you?
Scroll documents is now called. If you can probably extend a bit, like your question, would be great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell to me. Michael, yeah, if you can extend on the question a little bit, then we'll be happy to answer and go back to it. Otherwise, you can also contact us and we'll be happy to answer or look into if it's a more technical question. Oh, okay, scroll version. So Michael's answered that it's a versioning of Confluence documents.
Well, of course, there is definitely in this place in this Blue Spice alternative, as said. So then you have a chance to be versioning your content, your pages, and then even to be able to roll back to the previous version. You can make a diff between the versions of the documents, the pages basically. So yeah, it's definitely in a place.
Perfect. Thank you, Michael. I hope that answered the question. Let's look if there's anything I can read out loud. Otherwise, we're also waiting for any additional questions that may come in. So Yakov's asking what type of human support I can expect when we begin with the migration to your solution and down the road. We've already answered it in the chat, but Peter, do you want to tell a little bit about the implementation process, including the migration, perhaps?
Sure. First of all, you will get a dedicated consultant, like who will be kind of helping you within the whole migration process. So the one who is experienced in an Attlassain product. So no matter if it will be about the Confluence or Jira migration or Bitbucket, so then we have an experienced person there. And then firstly, we will analyze your stack of your data plus the plugins you have installed, because of course we need to find the alternative in the Easy8 Mine tool in order to match into it. And then afterwards, once we will kind of clarify all of these prerequisites, how we will be a bit matching the data within the new tool, because of course it's not just only about the simple drag and drop from one system to another one, but we need to a bit map it like a statuses to statuses which are in the Easy8 Mine, and then the priorities and all of these attributes. So it's about the mapping, so which we need to manage together. And then afterwards, it's like a selection of the file and then the own import, which could of course take based on your size of the data and then your history. And then afterwards, we are a bit cleanupping the application. So together with you, we are just checking what are the necessary data within the system, if we can clean something, and then afterwards we go for the classic implementation, where we are describing like how the concrete features and behaviors within the Easy8 Mine could be applied to you and your colleagues within the training. So, and then of course we are performing the pilot program, where we, for example, select one of your project and you can test it. And then once it is a bit approved from this reality, so then we go for the production. It can be like a second migration, which is the production one, right? So the first one is normally the initial, and then afterwards we perform like a production migration. So from one day to another day, you can switch from one system to another one. That's normally how we proceed, like the migration plus the implementation process.
Thanks, Peter. And from the sales perspective, I'll just add that obviously you will have access to, beside the product expert that Peter just mentioned, you will also be able to always contact your account manager, and they'll be able to raise priority on current or outstanding tickets, and they'll be able to best assist you as well. Right. So we have one more question while we're waiting for more. So unless any other question comes in, this is the last one. So question from an attendee comes. So does Jira end support of all server products? So the answer that we have is it's not really yes or no question. So it's true that Attlassain is ending support to server version of many products, not just Jira software, such as additionally as Bitbucket and Confluence also are on the end of life with the server solution or server version. And we can definitely provide alternatives to those, as we've covered those previously on previous slides. So we are most definitely ready to help. We are ready to migrate. We are ready to assist the onboarding process. So like I said, you are always welcome to contact us. We'll be definitely happy to take out individual use cases, and we'll be happy to assist at all times. All right. So I don't see any more questions coming in. I believe we've answered all the outstanding ones, unless I missed some, but it's just double checking now. I don't think I did. So I guess all that's left to say is for me to say thank you. Thank you so much for the attention. Thank you for the participation. We really appreciate your participation, and yeah, we're really thankful that we could present this information. Hopefully this was helpful to you. I believe we put together a webinar that was aiming to be informative, so hopefully you can agree with that. Otherwise, in case, like I said, and I'll just repeat myself like a broken record, but you can always contact us. We'll be happy to help. You can reach us at easysoftware.com or on easyredmine.com. You can reach me directly at christoph.azorian@easysoftware.com or sales@easysoftware.com, and we'll be ready to help you. All right. Well, all that's left to say for me is goodbye. Thank you so much for the attention. Goodbye if you're watching it from a recording, and best of luck with your project. Goodbye.